Historical movies and historical films have been a staple of cinema since the inception of movies, and both critics and viewers alike have enjoyed witnessing these epic historical spectacles on the big screen. And while many of us will be familiar with classic, critically successful historical movies like Spartacus or Ben-Hur, or also more modern, critically praised period dramas like Gladiator and Oppenheimer, there are still thousands of other excellent historical films that have been largely forgotten by mainstream audiences. And in this video, I will give you my recommendations of 10 critically acclaimed historical movies that most viewers will probably not have seen yet. But before we begin, don't forget, if you love anything to do with historical movies and historical TV shows, then subscribe to my channel, History Spark. At number 10, it is The First King, a historical drama which tells the story of two brothers and shepherds named Romulus and Remus, and their eventual clash which will lead to the eventual founding of Rome. This film is unique as it is spoken in Old Latin, which gives the movie a more authentic feel, and the movie is further enhanced by great cinematography and set pieces. However though, the acting is quite subpar and the story is very rushed as well. But if you're looking for an award-winning film about the founder of Rome, then The First King is the perfect choice for you. At number 9, it is Flesh and Blood, a historical medieval adventure which tells the fictional story of a bride named Agnes who is captured by mercenaries, and a complex tale of revenge, love and brutality that follows as her husband Stephen tries to rescue Agnes from her captors. And of course, a plague breaks out in the middle of this war, which complicates things even further. This is a really oversimplified summary of the movie's plot, but Flesh and Blood is one of the most fascinating historical movies I have ever seen, with an engaging plot filled with many unexpected plot twists and some decent acting by majority of the cast as well. However though, there is no getting around the fact that this is a film with a very limited budget, and that is evident in the movie's set pieces, battle sequences and overall production design. But if you're looking for an over-the-top story which has some B-movie limitations, then Flesh and Blood is my recommendation for you. At number 8, it is Barabbas, the 1961 historical epic which has a unique spin on the life of Barabbas, the criminal who the crowd decides to pardon over Jesus, and the movie follows his guilt over many decades of his life, and he will eventually find himself fighting as a gladiator in Rome. This film is well over 60 years old now, and it does look very outdated, but the story here is fascinating and really engaging, and the acting is brilliant here, with Peter Quinn really bringing Barabbas to life in a spectacular fashion. So if you're looking for a film with great acting, set pieces, a great musical score, but a film that is visually outdated, then Barabbas is my recommendation for you. At number 7, it is Silence, a passion project directed and produced by Martin Scorsese. The film is set in 17th century Japan, and it is a very difficult and turbulent time to be a Christian in the nation. This is the backdrop in which two Jesuit priests, Sebastião Rodrigues and Francisco Garupe, find themselves in as they are tasked with continuing to spread Christianity across Japan. With an all-star cast including Liam Neeson, Andrew Garfield and Adam Driver, and Martin Scorsese leading behind the camera, it still comes across as a surprise to me at how few people know about this film's existence. As one would expect, with such a talented cast, the acting here is brilliant, with Andrew Garfield being the standout performance for me. And the cinematography, set pieces and production design are all great as well. But I do have to emphasize that Silence is a very slow-paced movie, and it might not be the right fit for all viewers, but it is still an epic historical film which has a grand story to tell, and I think most viewers will probably not have seen this film yet either. At number 6, it is Ashoka, a 2001 Indian historical epic that depicts the life of Emperor Ashoka, one of the most important and controversial rulers in Indian history. The film stars Shah Rukh Khan in the lead role and takes place during the 3rd century BC, flawlessly blending real-life events with fictionalized elements and Bollywood-style storytelling. Ashoka benefits from amazing acting, magnificent large battle scenes, and elaborate set designs. But the movie does really take some strong creative liberties with history, even by Bollywood standards. and the pacing in the second half of the film feels a bit uneven as the movie transitions into a story of a more philosophical nature rather than about epic battles and brutality. But Ahsoka is an engaging and fascinating historical film about an ancient Indian king that most Western audiences wouldn't be familiar with, and I can highly recommend it to all viewers of this channel. At number 5 is The Physician, a film which focuses on an orphan boy named Rob and his determination to study medicine and prevent others from dying of easily treated diseases in 1st century England. And his search for medical answers eventually leads him to Persia. This movie is unique as it brings to life a topic very rarely discussed in movies or TV shows, and that is the way medical treatments and surgeries were performed during the medieval era. We often get a small scene of a soldier getting his limb amputated or some rudimentary medical practices being performed on a king, but I've never seen a movie delve so deep into the subject as The Physician. This movie really highlights the differences between English and Persian society during this time period. So if you're looking for a movie that is well acted, perfectly paced, and brings a unique spin to historical dramas, then The Physician is my recommendation for you. At number 4, it is Sardar Udham, a film that I have to say deserves much more attention and recognition than it currently has. Sardar Udham follows a primary character named Udham Singh, a Sikh revolutionary who spends over 20 years planning and orchestrating the assassination of Michael O'Dowd, the man responsible for the Jallianwala Bagh massacre, in which thousands of peaceful Indian protesters were horrifically massacred by British forces. Much of my praise for this film is based around the acting of the main cast, but also in the way the director has been able to reproduce the political and socio-economic climate of the time. So if you're looking to explore a little talked about massacre in Indian history and get a better understanding of the relationship between the British Empire and India, then Sardar Udham is the perfect film for you. The third spot on this list goes to Redcliffe, a 288-minute historical epic. This film utilizes a slower paced story to effectively develop the characters within the movie, but also to provide more opportunities for the societal and political impact of the Three Kingdoms War on common folks to be viewed as well. There are some amazing battle scenes which will keep the viewer on the edge of their seats, accompanied by some really unique and fascinating military strategies. Obviously, with a film of this size and length, there are going to be some issues, such as there being too many names and characters for viewers unfamiliar with the Three Kingdom histories to keep up with, and some viewers may find the pace of the film to be a little bit too slow. But overall, these are small critiques for a film of this magnitude. So if you're looking for a movie about ancient China that you haven't seen yet, then Redcliffe is my recommendation for you. The second spot on this list goes to Admiral Roaring Currents, a South Korean epic war film which focuses on the famous Battle of Myeongyang, which sees General Yi Su-sin fighting against a Japanese Navy fleet numbering over 330 ships, with his own small contingent of only 13 ships. The Admiral Roaring Currents does a fantastic job of building General Yi's character as a reliable, experienced and fearless commander who is the last hope of the Joseon Empire from being overrun by the Japanese. This film has amazing naval battles, and the entire film plays out like an amazing action film enhanced with unique and risky military tactics. While this film does a great job of displaying the amazing naval skills of the Korean Navy, the same cannot be said about the Japanese Navy, as the film does little to develop the antagonists and displays them as poorly skilled naval tacticians and sailors, which is not historically accurate at all. But apart from this minor critique, Admiral Roaring Currents is a perfect viewing experience for anyone looking for an epic historical adventure reminiscent of 300 on the Sea. At number 1, we have Agora, a historical drama which follows the life of Hypatia, an Alexandrian mathematician, philosopher and astronomer, from her childhood to her eventual death. This film's key focus is on the relationship between religion and science, as the polytheistic religions of Alexandria continually clash with the beliefs of the growing Christian community. This film does a fantastic job of highlighting how difficult it was to advance science and astronomy due to religious constraints and the growing influence of external forces in Alexandria. Rachel Weisz really shines in her role of Hypatia, and she does a fantastic job of bringing her character to life. while the rest of the supporting cast does a magnificent job of filling out the world. The plot is also great with lots of unexpected twists and turns, making the film a great watch from beginning to end. There are a few stumbling points here as the pacing is not great and the political situation of the time could have been expanded upon a little bit more. But if you're looking for a great film that shows a mix of Roman, Christian, and scientific influences on ancient Alexandria, then Agora is my recommendation for you. So I hope you enjoyed this list on 10 critically acclaimed historical films that I think most viewers of this channel will not have seen yet. But if there are any other great films that you think I may have missed out on, please do share them in the comments down below. And if you haven't done so already, subscribe to my channel History Spark so you can stay up to date with everything to do with historical movies and historical TV shows. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day. Bye.